Guys, this is why you want to blow out your clutches regularly. See the cloud I'm working with. So they look clean, the clutches. Took this belt cover off, inspect the belt, inspect the clutches. Everything looks nice and clean, looks good. But look at that. Nasty. So this is key, guys. You gotta do this. I know it's a pain in the neck job, specifically on this vehicle. Getting to the belt cover is not easy. So for one, you have to take out that piece of the frame, which is right here. There's 4 bolts. When you reinstall those are 45 foot-pounds. You're going to torque those with a torque wrench. Make sure you do that because this is part of your frame. It's part of the rigidity of the chassis, and you need to make sure you put that in proper torque spec. Don't just, 4 ugga-duggas and call it good. So install it to what the proper torque is supposed to be from the manufacturer. And then you have 11 of these screws that take the belt cover off. Now, at first glance, you take the belt cover off. Look in there. It didn't look bad. But as you've seen, when I put some compressed air in there and blew out the clutches, it's all kinds of black soot that comes out of there. So you want to do it in a well-ventilated area. I got the garage doors all open here today. I had a fan blowing out to kind of get the dust out. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. Put a mask on or cover your face with something. It's really not good stuff to breathe. But you got to do this periodically. I would say at least 600-700 miles, you should take the belt cover off. I like to do it every 500, but at minimum, every 600-700 miles, get the belt cover off. Take a look at the belt, inspect the belt, make sure it's got no cracks, got no missing cogs right here. In between the belt, on the inside, you want to make sure there's no little hair. You'll develop little hairline cracks in between the cogs, and that's a sign the belt is been stressed with heat and it's starting to dry out and it's going to come apart on you. Also, inspect the sides, the cords, if they're coming out of the belt. And you can just rotate the secondary and look at it. The whole thing, get a flashlight, take a look at it. Or you can take the belt off. You have a spanner wrench tool that comes in your toolkit. Just going to stick that in there and pry open. That'll force the secondary open, and then you can get the belt off. You can take a look at it. So make sure you put the belt back on the same direction it comes off, with the lettering going the same way. You don't want to put the belt back on the opposite way once it's been ran that way. So this is key. These clutches are expensive. They have wear items. They have sliders. So when the clutches open, secondary opens and closes, that little slider slides in here. And you want to feel that too. Make sure there's no grooves or wear. These are really good. There's no grooves in there. They put the square sliders on these new ones. Polaris used to put round ones, and then what would happen with the round ones is they would get squared off, and they wouldn't work properly. These slide really nice in there, and I don't have, they still look like they're in great shape. You also want to check your primary. This is your primary. Stick that nozzle in every little nook and cranny in here. Start the machine, let it run. Give it the throttle a little bit. It'll blow out some more dust that you loosened up from blowing it out. Shut it off. Stick the nozzle in all those holes again. Keep blowing it out so you're not getting any more dust out. It might take you 10-15 minutes and starting it 2 or 3 times to do it. But you want to get everything out of here. It's a pain in the neck to get the cover off. And so while you're in here, just make sure you do a thorough job cleaning it. Check the sheaves. These are your clutch sheaves, they're called, the inside where the belt rides. You want to check those for grooves. If there's any grooving, usually you'll get that if you're riding at the same exact RPM all the time and that belt is sitting on the same exact spot, and it'll just wear out a groove in your clutch, and you'll notice that. You'll feel that in your driving. It'll almost feel like it's shifting instead of it being just a smooth throttle. You'll almost feel like a spot, and then it stops and goes again, almost like a manual transmission that shifts. That's what it'll feel like a little bit. And that's just from the sheaves getting worn. Also, you'll get that too when your weights get some grooves in them and wear out. Everything here, this thing is run very well. I haven't had any issues. I'm just doing some maintenance here. And this, again, is something you should really do regularly. Today, besides this, I was working on the steering stem. I put a steering stem stabilizer bushing in it from J Parts. You can see it down there. A steering stem bushing. Stock one is junk. This thing was, you could literally see the steering shaft moving in the stock bushing. It was worn out already. And this machine's got about 820 miles on it. And it was shot already. So this one's great. I have it installed video already on one of these on the channel. We installed this on my brother's. And it comes with a grease zerk, the new one. Put that in there. Grease it up. Keep it good. The front end on this thing is starting to loosen up a little bit. That was the first thing I noticed. And then the other thing is the drag link. It's starting to get a little play in it. That's the drag link right there. J Parts has a fix for that too. They have an upgraded drag link. So what we'll do next is we'll probably replace that. But the steering bushing, you can actually probably see it from here, maybe. Steering stem bushing. And that's a nice big thick billet piece. Really secures the bars good. The stock one is basically a piece of plastic and a metal clamp around it, and it's not greasable. Can't get any grease in there. So this one is great. Big thick billet unit. Tightened up the steering stem. No problems now with that. That's nice and tight. And we just got to do the drag link next because there is a little bit of noise coming from down that area. But right now we're just working on the belt maintenance. I will tell you, getting the cover off is a pain in the neck. Besides having to take the frame piece off, you could probably do without taking the wheel off. I just, I'm in the garage, jack it up, take the wheel off. It takes another 2 minutes, get in there, do a thorough job cleaning it out. And you want to check the seal on your belt cover too. Make sure that's in good shape. The Polarises are known to not really seal well their clutches like the Can-Ams do as far as water tightness. So a lot of people do is they'll put a little grease inside there, but I don't like to do that. If any of that grease gets down in on your clutches and on your belt, you're asking for a bad time. You want to keep that stuff dry and clean in there. You don't want no grease or oily substances in the clutch sheaves and on the belt. So you just make sure that's nice and clean. They do sell upgraded gaskets if you're worried about that and you go through water a lot. I power wash this machine regularly, and I didn't notice any water that's gotten in. So I think it's doing its job. Getting to all the bolts to the cover is a bit of a bear for a few of them. One of them all the way up here, you'll see it's right there, but it's hard to get a ratchet in there. You almost need like just a wrench to get it started and then get it out with the rest with your fingers. And the other tough one is down here. You'll see that one. It's right in front of the frame. So that's another tough one. And there's one more on the other side. Same thing. So they don't make it easy for you. That's for sure. Now, even with the frame out, getting the clutch cover off and then twisted in the right way and backed out, it was a bit of a pain in the neck. So you got to be patient. Don't break the cover. Just be patient. Wiggle it a little bit. Cock it on an angle. It'll come out. You just got to find the sweet spot for it. This rear diff vent hose gets in the way a little bit. The way they had it zip tied to the frame, I couldn't get the cover off. I had to cut the zip tie so I can move it over a little bit and get a little more. It was kind of wedged against the cover. I'll just put another zip tie up there once I'm done to make sure it's out of the way. But that's pretty much it for the belt maintenance. Make sure you do this stuff, guys. Very important. Last thing you want to do is have to change a belt or have clutch issues out on the trail, because I promise you it's not going to be a fun day. I'm in the garage in a controlled environment with a jack, tire off, and proper tools, and getting the clutch cover off was a pain in the neck. I can't imagine doing this on the trail. So do regular maintenance, blow out the clutches, keep your clutches in good shape. Those are very expensive, a couple $1,000s each if you need a whole new clutch. You can have them rebuilt after so many miles. That's something you may need to do. You inspect and you notice stuff is wearing out. This company says sell replacement parts. You can get the replacement parts from Polaris. It's not that easy to do. You can do it yourself, but you know, if they need to be rebuilt, you can take it to any dealer and they can rebuild your clutches for you. No problem. So that's it, guys. Just want to make this quick one so you guys can see what kind of entails to get your clutch cover off, change your belt, and do your maintenance. A lot of guys don't ever do this. They never take the clutch cover off until they blow a belt, and then that's when the clutch cover comes off, and at that point it's a mess in there. If you do this regularly, you're going to get longer belt life, and you're going to get longer life out of your clutches before they need to be rebuilt. So do this regularly. You shouldn't have any problems. The other tip I would have for you with a belt drive, any belt, I don't care if you have a CVT system on a Yamaha, Kawasaki, Can-Am, Polaris, whatever it is, anything with CVT, you need to do this. You need to blow out your clutches and get them all cleaned up. Keep them clean. And then as far as driving a unit with the CVT, you got to warm the belt up before you really get on it. When the belt is cold, it's like anything else. Rubber, it's rubber. So when it's cold, it's going to be a little more slippery. It's firm, it's stiffer, doesn't get as tacky. So what you want to do is when you start your machine and after you let your engine warm up and you're going to go on your ride, keep it under 30 miles an hour, easy on the throttle for at least a mile or so. And then you can get up and get on it. Don't just start hammering down on it as soon as you start it. Ice cold belt, that's how you slip the belt. Once you slip the belt, that belt is shot. It's never going to grip properly again. And then you're not only going to lose performance, but eventually that belt's just going to blow on you. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got for you. Belt maintenance, clutch maintenance, belt life on a Polaris Scrambler, Polaris Sportsman, really anything with a CVT, but obviously this specifically for the Scrambler and the newer Sportsmans here with the rear facing. That's how you're going to get it out. 45 foot-pounds on those bolts. Make sure that frame piece goes in the same way you took it off. So that's the bottom. It comes off that way, it goes back on that way. Don't reverse it. It's got to go back on the way it came off. Torque them down 45 foot-pounds. That's it, guys. Joe at Odyssey Off-Road. Hope this little quick video helped somebody. Catch you guys out on the trail.